Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Vancouver-ish, kind of adjacently ATL type thing that's going on with London's bleeding-ish thing for Patreon. I'm Storyteller Steve, but right now I'm going to be playing Archon Burlington Sterling. Let's do a quick roundtable to introduce everybody and who you're going to be playing for this particular Ventrue meeting. Let's start over on my that way. And Candy.
Hi, my name's Sara, and I'm going to be playing Archon Burlington Sterling's ghoul, Candy.
And over on the other side is Thomasina.
Hi, my name is Leona Ror, and I'll be playing Thomasina Elena Cuesta.
From ATL by Night.
Yeah.
And down there is Veronica Bates.
Hello, my name is Joanna. I am going to be playing Veronica Bates from Toronto.
And I have no idea how Patrick set this up, so I'm probably pointing in completely the wrong direction. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And Charlotte.
Hi, I'm Brennan. I'll be playing Charlotte Ardennes, and I'm from Vancouver adjacent.
Warren.
Evening, my name's Cliff Goodman. I'll be playing War and Peace and filling out the Canadian hat trick from Ottawa.
Lillian.
Hi, everyone. I'm Samantha McLarty, and I will be playing Lillian Crawford from London's Bleeding.
And last but not least, Hunter.
Hi, I'm Patrick Gill, and I will be playing Hunter Zex Weston from somewhere in Minnesota.
And for the record, we tried to convince him to go with Hunter Hearst Helmsley, but he wouldn't go for it.
He wouldn't bite.
No. No.
But you got game. Okay, so
Stop.
To set things up a little bit, all of the Ventrue that are in this particular call would have gotten a handwritten note from Pearson Reginald Donovan Burlington Sterling IV, Ventrue Archon of North America, third child of Lucinda Ventrue Justicar. And it would have had instructions on how their retainers could have set up so that they are set to be part of this particular meeting to link up all of the Ventrue across North America and beyond so that everyone can network a bit more with the Ventrue clan so that they can help each other out to make sure that, you know, that you don't want to be like the other clans that don't help each other out when asked. You want to be like the Ventrue. The Ventrue are more noble in that particular regard. So we're going to open the scene as everyone has essentially had their retainers logged into the meeting, and it is starting. Candy.
Yes, Archon Burlington Sterling.
Is everyone here?
To my knowledge, yes.
Excellent. So let us introduce ourselves and where we are from. I know already, but I want to make sure everyone in the meeting is aware. Candy, let whoever is next in the order explain themselves.
Okay, so next in the order, Charlotte.
Harley, is this thing on? Harley, am I muted? Yeah, I really hate these meetings, but is my camera on? It's Hello, everyone. I'm Charlotte Ardennes. I basically run all of Vancouver. Nice to meet you all.
And Thomasina, please.
Absolutely. I am Thomasina Elena Cuesta, foreman in Atlanta. I do not have the run of the city. It's a little unclear as to who does right now. But that's okay. We can settle that question here shortly. Don't you worry. Hex, if you want to go ahead and get off the line, you can. If you don't, I completely understand, but we will need to talk about this later.
Thank you so much. And now, War and Peace.
Evening, friends. Hello from the wonderful city of Ottawa, capital of Canada. My name is Warren Peace. Yeah, my parents hate me, and I've made that joke for I don't know how many decades now. I worked under Prince Cranston and went through the jumble about, and now I'm working under Prince Arundel. It's not my city, but you know, I know the numbers, I know the patterns. It's what I do.
Thanks. Veronica Bates.
Hi, everyone. I'm Veronica, and I'm from Toronto. I run the King's Modeling Agency. I don't run Toronto per se. I just run what actually matters. So, yeah.
Such an important distinction to make. Now, Hunter.
Hello, Hunter Weston, child of Cristobal Cavente, child of Enid Dorset, child of Black Michael, child of... it's my 8th year in the Agogi, and I am sitting in on this meeting per the request of my sire. I honestly do not know what I can do to contribute. I am under the impression it is my job to observe and speak when spoken to.
Well recited, Hunter.
So noted. And finally, Lillian Crawford.
As this one has already stated, I am Lillian Crawford. If I need an introduction, then you're obviously not important enough to know.
Please enlighten us.
I hail from London, and I am sort of a representative of probably the largest gunpowder filtration systems, you name it. My family has their hands all over it.
Excellent. So, the reason why I called you all this evening, and for those of you who don't know, I am Pearson Reginald Donovan Burlington Sterling IV, Ventrue Archon for North America, third child of Lucinde the Ventrue Justicar. We are here in your respective areas to determine what it is that you need. What do you want? What can I help you with? The Ventrue are the clan of kings. We don't do what the other clans do. They fall upon each other like a pack of wild gangrel. So, what do you all need? And what can I help facilitate to either increase the Ventrue presence in your cities or possibly even increase your status and rank in the city? Let's
All the possibilities.
let us start with you then, Thomasina.
You know, here in Atlanta, there was recently a shortage of Ventrue, which I'm not certain how many of you'd heard. Our new Prince Alpha, a gangrel himself, and I can't exactly fault a kindred just for their lineage. He is an intelligent prince. However, he is a prince that before he was prince, he was sheriff. I'm sorry, prince. My apologies. Thank you, Hex. She hasn't gotten off the line. Seneschal. Is that what we're going with? Okay. He is resourceful. We have plenty of resources here, and yet so few of them are actually granted to the Ventrue in Atlanta. We have a Primogen who is absolutely top-notch. Tabitha Hernandez is everything that a Ventrue ought to be. She is, however, in a difficult place, as we always are. Ruling is not a stable position. The idea and the pure tantalizing arrogance to think that we really truly do have a stable rule is utter foolishness. She's doing the best that she can. However, we do need more representatives, and we do need at least more of an official standing within the rest of the Camarilla. We have some difficulties with that. Atlanta has recently had a number of visitors. So it's a little difficult to determine exactly how we stand within the tower. If any of you have any suggestions as to how to make sure that our seat is as stable as could be, by all means, go right ahead. Even the cat.
Indeed. Sometimes ghouls get out of hand. Speaking of ghouls, Candy, make a note.
Of course, Archon Burlington Sterling. I've got my notepad right here.
We should help Thomasina as much as we can, though it's refreshing to see it referred to as the Camarilla. So many of the colonies prefer Camarilla, which is just not. Let's avoid that particular term.
That's not their fault. They are as educated as they could possibly be, and regional pronunciations are everyone's future. Tradition is only as good as it stays within the mouth of those who can recite it. So if they can recite it, however flawed, the story needs to continue.
So many neonates in North America.
It's acceptable. They are rulable. That is what we care about. And as for me, I'm from Spain, from Talavera. So it's going to be pronounced that way, whether y'all like it or not.
Understood. They're rulable unless there's silliness like what is transpiring in Los Angeles.
They're rulable if you stay with them. If you insist on being removed, and so many of us have over time, the idea that we should not have more hands-on experience with those that we rule. Some call it micromanaging. I call it staying involved, and it makes things a little easier when it comes to ruling. As long as they know that you're with them, they're more loyal, I find.
It's best to lead by example as opposed to delegating and then disappearing. Charlotte.
Yes.
Regale us of tales of your, what is it, Captain Vancouver?
Oh, yes. Actually, I have to say that I'm actually a bit jealous that you have a competent prince, because ours seems to be in cahoots with our Primogen here in Vancouver. and they seem to be up to no good. I said that I'm in charge of everything, but they don't know that yet, which is important. I admire your stance on being hands-on, but I just prefer not to get my hands dirty. I like to work in my little closet and kind of pull the strings with very, very highly sought after delegates.
Mm.
Typical Vancouver. Can't even get your shit straight.
Wait, did
You said Toronto wasn't even worth running, so I'm not sure what you're saying.
Oh no, I didn't say it wasn't worth running. I just run what's important in it. The city
Charlotte.
is so boring.
Charlotte, did you just a closet? You work out of a closet.
It's an office, but it's about closet size. I like small spaces.
And you seem to be under the impression that you are in charge, yet you work from a closet.
Yes, I choose to work from the closet, which is how I know that I'm in charge, because they were like, "Oh, you should have a bigger office, Miss Ardennes," and I'm like, "No, I would prefer to work in the closet." Respectfully, I also have an annoying accented woman who tries to talk down to me, and I prefer you didn't. You're from Ireland, right?
I'm going to pretend you didn't say that. You get one, and only one.
I'll take the one.
Interesting. Veronica.
Yes, Archon. What can we do for you?
Oh, it's more what we can do for each other.
Of course. What's your price, though? The help that I need is not from me, of course. It's for my sire, who would like to expand a bit more. I mean, he's starting in on the modeling and trying to expand it. So I think he's probably going to need some office space, perhaps in Vancouver, or maybe down in Atlanta.
We have plenty. Real estate is, however, going as quickly as anything these days. But we can certainly find something. We've recently had to do so for someone who may be a recent acquaintance. I'm not entirely sure. But there's certainly space. We tend to prefer that they work out of the King and Queen building. It's only suited. However, there's plenty of office space throughout the city and even the suburbs. And if they should like something that's a little more removed, something that gives them more space, and is not necessarily so ostentatious as it is in origin Spartan, we can accommodate that as well.
That would be very, very nice. I am so glad that you are on board with this, because I mean, he wants to really expand down. I mean, I'm sure that there are things that he can do for you. Like, I mean, you know who he is, so he can obviously do things for you as well. Of course.
Whereas in Vancouver, we've got plenty of office space. Business is always booming, and real estate happens to be my specialty. So anything that you would need, we could certainly make happen.
But my problem is that you don't have control of that city, and you say it's a problem. Is it going to be a problem when we get there? Because
no, I
we
do
can't
have
deal with
control
problems.
of the city. They just don't know about it yet.
Then is it really
That's real control. Yes, that's actually control in its truest form.
Yeah. All right.
I'm likely to agree.
Candy, make another note. See what we can facilitate for this particular deal.
I do have a question for you, Veronica. You say that this request is more so for your sire. Have you ever thought about branching out for yourself?
Oh, this is my branch. He entrusted me with it, and basically I run it. So he's trying to expand. He'd like me to expand, but, you know, branching out on my own would be a bit more work than I am really willing to put in, because I mean, I have everything I need and I'm taken care of. So I just want to expand.
And that is where I am a bit confused. I was under the impression that Ventrue typically try to maintain control, that they insist on being at the top of the tower. So why is it that you or Charlotte, you're quite satisfied being in the current status you are in? You hidden, Charlotte. No one knows you're actually in control, so you say. And Veronica, quite pleased with staying as a second hand to another.
Oh,
Actually, a
a
very good
second
question.
hand. I'm, maybe you might consider it a second hand, but given who my sire is, I mean, it would be an insult to even, the lineage, it's just, I can't even.
Ventrue don't embrace other Ventrue to take what is given to them. Ventrue embrace Ventrue to take more. To take what is given to them and then to rise above that, have the aspirations, the motivations to grow. If we did not do that, then we would not be any better than a Nosferatu or a Gangrel or a Toreador.
And
Or
to your
even
point,
worse,
Lillian, you
Sombra.
mentioned growth, and actually thinking that you need to be a figurehead of your tower is actually very old thinking, and maybe that's just your age showing. But I think that in my experience, the person who's visibly at the top is usually the one who gets shot at, and I'd prefer not to be. So I think the control is more important than the visibility in that order.
You'd be wrong.
It's debatable.
Apparently, there is different ways of going about things from varying neonates. Warren, I believe Ottawa, you said?
Yes, Your Lordship. Yeah. Now, I have to agree with Ms. Ardain and how things are done. I think I leave this space twice a year to go see family, and I'm quite comfortable doing that. I don't like the big empty skies above me. I don't like the rolling field. I'm not a farmer. I've got everything I need here. Computers, tags to the money. I can muck about with the TSE. I can, do whatever's needed from here. And it all comes down to patterns, ones and zeros, bits and bytes. At the same time, letting them know that you're the guy who's got your hands on the reins. And if they get out of hand, jerking them back a little bit is always a good thing too. You just want to make sure you're not in the place where you're going to get shot at. Ottawa, we could use a little help. I mean, we've got that other sect right across the river. It's been in a stalemate for years, and every now and then anarchists come in and they get their butts handed to them, and they go out and they go home to wine, and then they come back in and we kick their butts again. We're doing pretty solidly on keeping the Masquerade, Your Honor, which is always a good thing considering Ottawa being the capital, and RCMP, CSIS, and all the other big brassy sorts that are running around sticking their noses in places. We could do with a little back end help maybe on this Prince Arundel. No one seems to know much about him except the name, and that he knocked Cranston off the throne and took it for himself. He's got his own people running around doing things, and we're not even sure what flipping clan the guy is. So getting a little back end information on him would probably be real handy, because this way, if he steps out of line, I don't need to crash banks to bring him back into line, because that'd be really bad for the country, especially right now.
Candy.
Yes, Archon Burlington Sterling.
Make a note. What was the name again, Warren?
Arundel, Arundel.
Find out all we can about this Arundel.
I'm sorry, but is that from a film? The name?
I have no idea.
Right, that Frozen one.
That's the one. Yes,
Right.
every roll in my
You-
skill section.
You say you don't know what clan he is, and he has the name Arundel from a cartoon.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't much watch cartoons. I don't much watch entertainment.
I'm
I
curious.
don't find it entertaining.
Do you
My
know how
niece
much
loves
money
that
that
movie.
film brought in? Frozen brought in a dizzying amount of money. You've got to keep your eyes on entertainment.
It's where the money is.
Okay,
It
the
totally
financial
is
side
where
of the
money is.
entertainment, you don't need to figure out the plot of who's who and who's the hero and who, et cetera, to follow the money in the entertainment. Ottawa is slowly building to be the third place of choice for Hollywood North after Montreal.
Oh, please.
Well, knocking Montreal out. Oh yeah, no studios are.
Oh,
we're looking at
please.
studios. We're looking at studios. I mean, Toronto's been
Charlotte, are
topped
you
out on its
hearing
growth.
this?
I can't believe it.
Are you hearing this?
Okay,
Like,
We're doing pretty well in Vancouver.
Vancouver's still doing well, even though it's old and jaded. But Toronto, you've kind of capped out, baby.
It is.
Ottawa.
You've
You
reached
honestly
the top.
think Ottawa,
Oh yeah, we're gonna ride you down, and
where everything shuts down at like 9 p.m.
Yeah,
Well,
what movie
like
are they
Ottawa.
going to film in Ottawa?
when's the last time you were in Ottawa? Shuts down at 9 p.m. Yeah, Toronto, the city that fun forgot.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
forgot.
Now,
we've been seeing you shutting down your entertainment district pretty hard and heavy.
now I understand why we are all here.
Indeed.
Oh, yes.
If we can be a little more pleasant with each other instead of falling on each other and backstabbing each other like a bunch of Toreador, that would
I
be
feel like we've been nothing but civil. But
amazing.
This feels family to me.
So what do you need, Warren?
Well, like I said, a little back end information on this Prince Arundel. Could use a little more Ventrue support in the city, but for the size of what's needed in the city, we're not doing too bad. We're keeping the coterie. What can we offer out of Ottawa? I mean, we've got strings on a whole lot of stuff on Parliament Hill and a whole lot of stuff out of the banks of Canada. So I mean, money, influence, policy, where can we help out?
Candy, make a note of the resources that Warren is suggesting. Perhaps we can allocate them elsewhere if needed.
So noted.
Hunter,
Yes, Archon.
it's Archon Burlington Sterling.
My apologies, Archon Burlington Sterling.
Thank you.
The 4th.
Right.
Archon, Burlington, Sterling, the 4th. Don't forget that.
it is a bit rude to forget the fourth. You get them confused with the third or the second.
You're doing so well, Neonate. Don't mess it up now.
Hunter,
Yes.
your lineage is quite interesting.
Yes, Archon Burlington Sterling.
Tell us more about it.
I am Hunter Weston, child of Cristobal Covente, child of Enid Dorset, child of Black Michael, child of Torfin Inslid, child of Zhao Wei, child of Marie Lavallee, child of Thomas St. Maur, child of Duke of Amber, child of Mithras.
Hmm.
Fascinating. 'Tis a shame what happened to Mithras.
Indeed. Oh, terrible shame.
So what do you need, Hunter?
I personally am still under the Agogi, so I do not require anything for me or my own personal holdings. It's what I can provide Clan Ventrue going forward.
Go on.
Permission to speak to your ghoul.
Granted.
She's your property. I'm just checking, sir. Candy. The checkmate proxy, is the ping on that 5.0 or 7.5?
Archon Burlington Sterling the fourth. Is this something that I should be aware of?
No idea.
Okay. All right. That app that got forwarded to everyone's retainers. You should have a thumbnail for that bottom right corner of your desktop. Open that up, if you would please. And top right number, once that screen loads, if you could tell me if it's 5.0 or 7.5.
Okay. Looks like 5.0.
All right. And the proxy mask, the next line down, that should read all eights. That's the base Google DNS. Okay. All right. Next line down, that should be 8800. Do you see that?
Yes, Mr. Weston.
Okay. And then the last checksum number, that's the very last number, that should be the that should read 2.5.
It all appears according to what you said, Mr. Weston.
This is all fascinating. However, what does it mean?
There's a reason why we're able to have this meeting electronically and not have to have it cleared with the inner circle. It's because of this. It's from I wasn't embraced when everything was going down, but this is basically we'll say a cleaner version of ShrekNet that the Nosferatu built.
Cleaner version?
Less memes.
It's harder to track. It uses a rotating key, and you need to. I'm going to spend the next 3 hours going over the technical jargon. Just know that it keeps this meeting safe from Second Inquisition eavesdropping.
I do need to know everything about that. The moment you can send anything to me, you do.
Candy, make a note.
I
Whatever
will make sure that I make your request known to my sire.
technological jargon he is babbling about.
It's
Yes, I have it detailed here. You should be able to review it later if you wish.
I do not. Knowing that
course.
it's secure is enough. Lillian, it has been too long.
Indeed, it has.
What can I do for London?
Honestly, in the current state of London right now, I don't really. For myself, personally, there's not really much I could tell you. I think I have things under control, for the most part.
Well, if you're
But
in
I would be absolutely more than willing to contribute what I could to the others here who seem to be more in need of services.
Indeed.
Perhaps I could lend them the use of a bit of gunpowder, or even contract to have a facility built for them.
Charlotte,
I have this boat with cannons on it. Could you send me gunpowder?
Yes.
is it a Spanish galleon that you have?
No, it's a yacht with a hole in the side.
Why do you need gunpowder if you have a yacht with a hole in the side?
Why
For the
do you have a
cannons.
yacht with a hole in the side?
We
Where did
had
you
a
get a
pirate thing
cannon?
on Amazon.
They're cheaper on eBay.
Are they?
I'm in the South. You know we have people buying up cannons left and right.
I'll have to look into that.
Either way, yes, I could send you enough gunpowder if you want to use it for a cannon or whatever.
Are you-
Blowing up a building.
Will you be using this against anarchs? Sabat, maybe?
Oh, please say so.
Yes, in a sense.
In a sense. You want to elaborate on that?
Oh, when I was saying that there was a bit of issue with our Primogen, we're a bit concerned with where his loyalties lie, and we think that he might be in bed with some ne'er-do-wells in the Sabbat. So it's basically precautionary gunpowder for blowing up precautionary buildings with a precautionary yacht.
Why is he still standing? Like, why haven't you staked him?
I mean, you don't do things instantly. We just found out about this.
Wasn't there already an explosion recently in your
That
art?
wasn't me. I didn't have.
Oh,
didn't have-
right. The Elise, yeah, control over the city, Charlotte.
Who's the archon or the primogen of your city, Charlotte?
It's that. Harley.
You don't know.
Victor Davenport.
Victor
Jesus
Davenport.
fucking Christ.
Davenport
Yes.
might be in league.
Yes.
Candy, make a note.
I mean, I could do what I can. I believe you're aware that I'm more than capable of helping to remove problematic kindred.
I mean, surely there's a reason that I'm in this meeting and he's not.
I didn't make the invite list.
I did. I like to keep tabs on up and coming Ventrue. Davenport has been kind of stagnant.
Does he need to be removed?
I think it would be beneficial. It's good to prune the hedges every now and again.
What are the odds that you are capable of accomplishing that?
Oh, very high. I've got a great team.
Mm-hmm. What's your timeline look like?
Well, we're actually in the process of moving some other Primogen around so that all of them will be under my control. And then it will be time to make our move. The timeline is actually coming up pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
We just took a few weeks for break.
You took a break. You have you have a city that is in negative control, and you've taken a break. Is that
The negative
correct?
control. I already said that I was in full control.
Yet you're not. Not completely, not yet.
But the machine still runs.
But you can't really say you're in control if you're not actually in control. That's not how this works.
One understands how a clock ticks. Just because there might be an error down the line doesn't mean that it isn't completely fixable by the clockmaker.
But it's not fixed until it is fixed.
I had to give them a break. We have labor laws here.
Bloody hell. I'm never going to understand these
Neonates.
The
Never
labor
happened.
laws, though, to be fair, they do give us a better quality of blood up here in Canada because they're not overworked, so the blood is of higher quality.
Yeah,
But you're
that's why my
kindred.
interns
You
do
don't really have to follow labor laws. Do you not understand?
Just from the seed of the Industrial Revolution.
I like the blood of somebody who's nice and rested.
You can have all the blood that you want from someone who is nice and rested. That doesn't necessarily mean that you yourself
Need to be
needs to
rested.
take that rest.
Oh, no, not me take a rest. I'm saying the labor laws, like the like isn't Charlotte's interns? Are the interns Charlotte? Yeah. So Charlotte's interns need to only work a certain number of hours a day, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Because Canadian labor laws, blah, 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 blah. But it does give a better quality of blood for the ones that we need.
And that's not to say that I'm not working. I'm here working right
I
now.
mean, we're all working. It's the labor. Yeah.
What I mean to say is that, Charlotte, you spoke a moment ago about you were sort of replacing current Primogen and moving things around to put your people you have in control into those places. And then you said you had to give them a break. Are they not kindred? Are you trying to put mortals in the place of Primogen?
Oh no,
Please tell me you're
they're
not doing
kindred, but
that.
they're very what's the word? Anxious messes. Like one especially, our Malkavian, he's kind of like but everything is under control. Trust me.
Thomasina, do you have? Is this a situation that you also deal with?
Yes, is this
Need
a
for
North American issue or is
Breaks
this?
and hard to deal with kindred. I'm
It is a right to work state. For the most part, I find that my tastes are adequately supplied. My coterie, however, I completely understand that every now and again we do need to take some time. It does make sure that we have intel that is so preciously needed. It makes sure that our gangrel, bless, is gets his walkies in. Well, both of them actually. Now that I think about it, I've completely forgotten. We have
It's good to let them off their leash every once in a while and let them run around.
We call them
otherwise they will
seasons.
break it. Yes. And we also have we have two Tremere. I please understand my desire to control all things is limited to exactly this. I have no desire whatever to control the Tremere. None at all. I will let their chaos feed my own purposes, how and where it will. The effort to try and control them is too much, and I could not spend all my time controlling that. I also have a Bruja, for heaven's sakes, who, for all the work that I could possibly put into things, she puts in a great deal of work herself, but she also needs a break now and again. It works out better, I think.
Fascinating.
Hmm.
Candy, make a note. Something about breaks. We should probably test this particular theory with other Camarilla cities. See if we can rotate out people, perhaps get a new perspective, new set of eyes.
Lillian, have you
noted.
really never considered a break?
no. I don't need one.
So long as you have blood, you shouldn't need them necessarily.
Precisely. All of this is sort of news to me, that kindred need to take breaks like mortal sheep.
If you're
each
cooperating
their
with
own.
the rest of if you're cooperating with the rest of the clans, that is where it really tends to break down, I find. Amongst ourselves, of course we wouldn't. We would work ourselves into the ground and we would still not
Right.
feel the pain.
We can't hold everybody to our standards.
No.
I do.
Simply not realistic.
I'm of the same mind as Lillian in this. The best working with the other clans, I believe is the term you used, is through dominance.
Precisely.
If they're
What
under
I
your
did.
thumb, they work with you.
I find that breeds resentment. That breeds unrest.
And they
And
don't
that's
work
just
as
more
well.
energy that I don't have to expend.
Unrest is easily taken care of with hefty uses of presence and dominate. Or, alternatively, letting them know that the building that they live in is now owned by you.
Perhaps I've cooperated too freely then.
Perhaps. But I am not. It's not outside of the realm of possibility for me to eventually learn new things. That's why I'm here, and the first two childer of Lucinda aren't. Candy, make a note. Warren,
Yes, Your Honor.
tell us about your coterie.
Yeah, the coterie of the traditions is small, but we're effective. I'm kind of hearing some stuff here that's just getting me confusing, because it sounds like some of the Ventrue in other cities are sprinting, and we're not sprinters. We're the long distance. We think aeons ahead. We go for it. Every now and then you got to run a little faster, but this break thing is kind of alien to us here. We were organized under Cranston back in the early 90s to basically be a VEME to make sure that the Masquerade's kept. And I work with another Ventrue, a Paratoridor and a Paragangrel, and they're pretty effective. They do what needs doing. I make sure that everyone gets the information and the resources they need, and they make sure that the job is done the way it's supposed to be done. Masquerade breaches are taken care of. Bodies, if they need to be, go away, and problems don't occur.
So the 1890s, that's a long time for a coterie.
No, 1990s. Ottawa's been kind of I've only been
Candy, make a note.
89. So, Ottawa's been it's in a weird spot because there's Camarilla here and Sabat there, and the Anarchs stick their noses in, as I've said, and it's a stable, productive city now because we can keep the Sabat on the other side of the Rita River. But there have been periods in the past where, we're still a colony. We're still a frontier town sometimes. I wouldn't mind coming to learn at the feet of some of the big names in Europe. But we do the best we can. And if I might just pardon your honor for addressing someone else, but Zex, if you and I afterwards want to talk code, you send me some of the information about this little app. We can talk Shretnet. I've got to watch a lot of that stuff. And just because the Nosferatu have the rep for being the information brokers does not make them the best. Not even close. They do not stand near any of our clan that can do this job. So anyways, as I was saying, your honor, the coterie here in Ottawa does a damn fine, effective job at making sure the Masquerade, my coterie, is not broken. There are at least 2 other coteries I know of who are about protecting either people or geographic spots. And they're fairly effective from everything I hear. I don't have a lot of contact with them, but keep an eye on them.
I will expect a report about the goings on of not only your coterie, but the other coteries in Ottawa. Candy, collect those. Make sure that we have a file. Veronica.
Yes, Archon Burling Sterling IV. What can I answer for you?
Tell me about your coterie.
Well, we have got 2 delicious Toreador, and we've got a Brewha for a little muscle, but basically we run Fashion Week. Like, we run it here, and this is the kind of thing that we do. We make sure that everything runs on time and to our specifications when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to fashion, and when it comes to everything else. And we're rather well connected. The theater scene's pretty much ours too. So yeah, that's about it. So in terms of a coterie, I've got a pretty good group. I can't complain. The Toreadors really are quite good at their designs. So yeah, they're trying to follow in the footsteps of my sire, but who can really match my sire?
Indeed. Hunter.
I do not currently have a coterie Archon Burlington Sterling. I am at that stage in the Agogi where I am soon to be permitted to work with those outside of the clan without yet not being released into the Camarilla. But that I hope that my sire will find that I am a good student and that time may pass quickly.
Candy, make a note to speak with Hunter's sire about releasing him.
Speak with Hunter's sire about releasing him. So noted.
Lillian.
Yes.
Tell me a story.
Which story would you like to hear
Hmm.
this time?
We should regale the neonates with how your coterie actually formed.
Oh dear. All
Show the
right.
young, what's the term, Candy? I believe you said whippersnappers at one point. Show the young whippersnappers how it's actually done.
Essentially, my coterie formed out of necessity. There was a creature that appeared at a hospital during the outbreak of the influenza in 1918. And it just so happened that I was there at the same time they were. How lucky I was. Nonetheless, it needed to be dealt with. It was quite set on executing a few doctors and what was it at all? It was called again gargoyle. That's what it was. It was called a gargoyle, and it I might be mixing some details a bit. It was such a long time ago. I believe it was a product of a Tremere.
It would have to be.
Tremere. Tremere. It was Tremere. That's right. One of those tea names. You know what I mean. I ended up being paired with a very young Toreador, a Malkavian, and a Gangrel. Each from the lower class side of London. And at the time when the gargoyle showed up, we didn't know what it was, and it just, because we were all there and the state of London at the time, the seneschal at the time thought it would be best if we could handle it.
That, my young neonates, is how a coterie is formed. Speaking of Charlotte and Thomasina, I don't believe you quite got into specifics about who is in your coterie.
Well, Charlotte, you first, darling.
Oh, of course. Well, actually, we're a very well-running company. Our head of security is this wonderfully brutish Lasombra, who's actually, we've permitted to be in a relationship with our Malkavian, who is also secretly brutish. That's some tea for another chat.
Wait. You have a La Sombra in your coterie?
Mm-hmm. Is that strange?
For the Camarilla, see.
Oh yes, they're new in Vancouver.
They've recently joined the Camarilla, if the word out of Chicago is as solid as they say.
In fact, our prince is actually a Lasombra.
Yeah, your prince is a Lasombra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what have you been doing?
I'm working on it. These things don't happen overnight.
How did a La Sombra become prince of...
How did you put it,
Where were
Warren?
you?
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
You don't...
Exactly.
You do not pause long enough to let a La Sombra take control of a city. Are you bloody kidding?
How long have you been on break?
Oh,
About a week.
Perhaps a week is a bit too long. Candy, make a note.
This
I
is
think we'll be
very
back next
disturbing. Very disturbing. And a word of caution to you, Charlotte. Never trust a La Sombra.
Oh, I don't. She's positively awful to me.
Just
Your
make
prince
sure
is a
that
she. It's not a she.
No, that's not the prince. That's my head of security.
Oh.
Mhm.
Trustworthy?
Trustworthy enough to get the job done.
Don't turn your back on them.
Yeah, get you with the tentacles. Who haven't I mentioned? Of course, there's my wonderful Harley, who has been helping me with this call right now. And
Yes, thank you, Harley.
Yes. You want to say hi, Harley? No? Okay. I'll tell them you said hi.
Not really, ma'am. Can I look? The call's gonna be just fine if you would just.
No, you can't leave.
Don't.
If you leave, then maybe the call will shut off, and then I'll need you.
Just don't touch the fucking red button.
I can't. It's so bright.
God damn it.
What clan is Harley?
He's a Nosferatu.
That explains the language.
I've mentioned Charlie, not to be confused with my son, Charles, the rat. And then, of course, there's Cassandra, who's just my favorite. She's a Toreador.
What kind of operation are you running?
Mostly real estate.
Honestly, Charlotte, you should know better.
It's a learn as you go experience.
Did you say you ghouled a rat?
No, I didn't ghoul him. I just dominated him.
If I might, so you let some of your coterie have relations with your coterie and have a rat for a kid. And are you running a telenovela there?
I try to keep
Like
things
a
interesting.
circus.
Because I don't do entertainment, but this is verging on it, and it almost intrigues me.
That's why Vancouver is the entertainment capital of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Candy, make a note to send the Midnight Circus to Vancouver. Show them what an actual circus looks like.
Of course, Archon Burlington Sterling IV. And if I may add a relevant fact,
Go
may
on.
I? In the business of entertainment, it may interest you all to know that Amazon Studios, for season 1 of the Lord of the Rings television show about to be mounted on the streaming platform, they spent $456 million. And that's only for the first season.
Yes, my friend Jeff did tell me about that.
That's why we do this, because it's just the money in it. I mean, it's amazing. I'm really surprised that this has crossed everybody's minds.
No offense. Actually, probably offense. That really wasn't relevant, Candy. Make a note of that.
My apologies, Miss Crawford.
Thomasina.
Could you rephrase the question? I beg pardon. That was a long but fascinating story.
Your specific coterie.
As to who they are, how we got together. I was contacted by our Bruja Primogen with the notification that we had several lost childer within Atlanta. As many of you, I'm sure, have experienced, the Final Nights have left our cities with a number of different floating childer that have no direction, they have no education, and much to our credit, we have an excellent school here in Atlanta. There are several clans that, as much as they would like to say that they truly educated their children, they don't as well as we do. We have had an incredible success story with regards to finding these lost childer, giving them space, time, and resources in order to make up their own mind about how they could live and live well, thrive even in our city that maintains a nice cushion with the Masquerade, so that we have these childer that otherwise would be going about and doing God knows what. We pulled so many off of the botanical gardens, off of the vortex, off. There's so many. Oh, Six Flags, for heaven's sakes, that was.
Are any of them cative?
To the best of my knowledge, no. We
Excellent.
have.
I would hate
Yeah.
to tell you to eliminate them with great haste.
No, absolutely not. We have. So our Tremere that I'd met prior, Anton, has a checkered history with the city. We have as I said, a Bruja. We have Melisende. She and I are fairly close in age, as it happens. Surprising that we haven't crossed paths more often than we did. At least she came in, of course, through every incident where it was a rebellion, and if I could profit off of it, I did. We have a gangrel. His name is Aaron. He is very, 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 very young. But he's very kind. We have Abanu Hakim, who is doing his best given our circumstances. And we have, other than that, we've had a few visitors here and there. But those are your core that have been responsible for reining in so many of the lost children. And it is, I must recommend to all of you, if you've not been doing this in your own city, this is the greatest possible threat to the masquerade in your city, are these children that absolutely have no education, nowhere to go, no way of knowing what kind of damage they could do. So if you do not have, we call them shepherds in your city, I would greatly recommend that you do this.
That is a
Andy?
great idea.
Candy, make a note. See if we can expand this particular what's the word I'm looking for? Endeavor.
You can call it
to other cities. Call it the Shepherd Initiative.
Shepherd Initiative. So noted.
So, if there are any thin bloods in your city, purge them. Is there anything else that we can help out with the Ventrue of your cities from ours?
I would have to caution two things. Those that we can profit off of, and those who can be our greatest allies in strength against sects that would otherwise take the tower's light away from the rest of the kindred. To purge them, I understand. I would investigate greater possibilities, however, before doing so, if permissible. Our entire wealth, our entire prosperity comes from knowing our greatest strengths and using them. I believe.
Interesting. Not that I'm asking for consensus, but what the rest
not,
of
Your
you
Honor.
think.
I would say that if you can use them, do so, but don't risk anything for them.
Charlotte, do you agree?
I would tend to agree, as long as it keeps you out of trouble.
Interesting. Warren.
Yes, Archon Burlington Sterling 4. I would agree with them as well. I mean, we're all about keeping the masquerade here, and yeah, rogue childer from situations that have occurred over the last short period of time have been one of the biggest potential breaches. We take them in, and if we are able to educate them and turn them into productive, tradition focused members of the Camarilla, then hey, rock on, excellent, good thing to go. But every now and then, and yeah, those without a heritage, they don't tend to do well in the capital city, anyways.
Veronica.
Well, they can be useful. So if you can use them without getting yourself killed, or well, second killed, I would say that it would be beneficial. Maybe. I mean, some of them do, I think, walk during the day, so they could be useful. And I think maybe if we can offer them protection, because, everybody else wants them dead too. If we can offer them protection, then they'll be so grateful.
Even better would be if you could bind them to you.
Hunter.
Permission to speak candidly, Archon Burlington Sterling.
The fourth.
Yes, Archon Burlington Sterling the fourth.
Proceed.
From my perspective, as a neonate, technically still fledgling within the clan's eyes, my insight on the matter is perhaps of, if not consequence, at least mild interest that you can then disregard. That being said, eventually there will be more of them than there will be of us. And it is ultimately, in my opinion, each city's best interest to follow Camarilla directive and see that they are dealt with if they cannot be controlled adequately.
Is only due to Lillian that I am adjusting the terms that I just stated. You don't necessarily have to purge unless, as Hunter suggested, they are a problem. But it's best to keep them under your thumb. Who knows when you might need something to throw at some kind of an enemy. Candy? Make a note.
I would also like to suggest that should your herd become more than comfortable numbers, cull it.
Wise words. So if no one else needs anything this particular eve, I am proposing that we call this particular meeting to a close. Are there any objections? Excellent. Candy, you can shut down this particular meeting.
Of course, Archon Burlington Sterling III.
Everyone, have a good evening, and we will be in touch.
Your Honor.
Thanks so much, Your Honor.
Thank you.
It was lovely speaking to you all.
And it's at that point we're going to call this to a close.
Yay!
Yay!
That was good, everybody.
That
That
you
was
were
awesome.
such a good
Thank you.
neonate.
As I said before, no, I stand Ventrue. My back lore is a little rusty, but yeah, once upon a time I knew all the board positions. I knew all of the proper terms of address. It was sad.
Good.
Actually, is what
So-
it was.
Let's do a quick round table of everybody to let everybody know where you're going to be, what you're doing next. And let's start in the same, I guess, order. Candy.
Hi, my name's Sara and I play Candy. I'm the storyteller for a game on the Martlet Games channel called London's Bleeding, where Lillian is a character. She talked a little bit about the coterie formation. We're just getting started, so there's plenty of time to jump in. It is a period chronicle in 5th edition set in 1918 London, just after Armistice Day. So a little bit of a interesting period, lot going on, pandemic also in that time as well. So lots of good stuff going on there. And then on Vancouver by Night, I'm in the Delve into Darkness crew where I played Jude the Tremere. That's just getting more fun and chaotic as time goes on. So I really encourage that. It's part of the Saturday Vampire Takeover. You'll hear about Vancouver by Night adjacent also. So I think that's it for me. You can find me at MC Diabetes on the various platforms. Thank you.
And wait, that way. I don't even know which way I'm pointing. One of those two directions, possibly that way. I don't know. Thomasina?
Yeah, I'm Leona, and I'm at the moment only doing ATL by night. If you would like to snap me up, let me know. But yeah, we are going into season 5 right now, and we're getting to a point where we have enough of a coterie amassed that we're going to start seeing some crew on some nights and some on others, because the story is getting really, really big. So yeah, if you'd like me with you, great. If not, that is okay. And I love you all anyway.
It'll be like an ATL by night adjacent. Veronica?
Hi, I'm Joanna, and I was playing Veronica. I am normally on Vancouver by Night Delve into Darkness as the techie Tremere Abigail, and that is the only place where you will find me. You will find me on Twitter at High Roll Gardener, but other than that, yeah, I pretty much stick with that.
Charlotte?
I am Brennan. I was Charlotte. You can find me on Twitter and pretty much everywhere at Great Black Otaku. I play Charlotte for Vancouver adjacent, and our break that all the old freaking Ventrue were ragging on us for is over next week. So we'll be back.
You give them vacation?
You wouldn't let me live down my meta joke. Jeez.
You give them vacation? What the hell?
Give them vacation? Balderdash! Oh, Warren?
Oh my god.
Hey there, my name's Cliff. I played War and Peace, the techie Ventrue tonight. I can be found over at Vancouver by Night Delve into Darkness, where I play a Duran Giovanni, a simple and unassuming tailor who is surrounded by such insanity. I'm also a huge fan of Vancouver by Night adjacent and everything Vancouver by Night and Martlet Games does. So I can be found
ATL by night.
I can be found usually sitting in front of my computer screen going, what are they doing next? This is cool. Other than that, I can be found online under the Vintage Self, and here and there is DJ the Elf, and periodically in other guises or who knows what.
I just realized now I forgot to make my Tolstoy joke. So yeah. Lillian.
Hi everyone. I'm Samantha McLarty. I played Lillian Crawford, obviously, for tonight, the Ventrue, and I also play her in London's Bleeding. I couldn't give too much away of the coterie earlier in this conversation because it hasn't been seen yet on the stream. So Other than that, I am also on Vancouver Adjacent by night as Elena Cortez, de la Sombra that was mentioned earlier as being,
Ireland.
you know. Oh God.
That is some
Never gonna end.
inside baseball that will never go away.
No,
the La Sombra
never.
that you shouldn't trust.
The La Sombra you shouldn't trust.
Hunter.
Hi, I'm Patrick Gill, creative director over at Martlet Games. I play Lillian's coterie mate, Rafe Williams, who is a war journalist just coming back from Armistice, and shit's hit the fan. So yeah, that's basically that story in a nutshell. So we've got that. We're starting to ramp up production. We're doing this whole, hey, yeah, I'm going to try to do tabletop chicanery for a living. So we've got I don't know when this is going to see the light of day, but we've got a Sabbat, we'll call it a double header, coming up here. We're going to have our mutual friend, Zach Vaudo. He's going to be on. Sara is going to be participating as a player. And our esteemed Samantha McLarty is also going to be playing in that. I will be sitting that game out. I am assisting. Like I said, things are getting really hectic, and so we're trying this tag team approach now with our Chronicles, where someone sits out and helps coordinate, just to help keep production moving. We got a game coming up on Onyx Path. There's literally tons of crap going on. Harley, Vancouver Adjacent. Everyone else talked about it. I love you all.
And I'm Storyteller Steve. Vancouver by night, Vancouver Adjacent by night, Would Be Heroes, D&D on Tuesdays. Little one-off things like this every once in a while. I was just playing Necrobiotic, actually, on Weave the Tales channel, I think it was. I can't remember.
The Kickstarter, damn it.
Yeah, it's an awesome game. Everybody should go play it. I just did an interview. I started up Storyteller Chronicles again with Satine Phoenix and Jameson Stone. I did an interview with them, which was an awesome interview. Sara had a great question to ask them, which launched into this whole awesome explanation and like aftercare for your players and for your games and stuff.
That took up a large chunk of time, actually. That was quite the talk. That was very impressive.
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad for that, because otherwise I would have ran out of questions. Tune in to all this stuff. This is the Patreon only video, so tell your friends about the Patreon. You only need $1 to access it. Every little bit helps us, and we're gonna use that money to pay the cast and upgrade some equipment that we need to upgrade. So yeah, help us out, and we will see you in the next Patreon only video, or Vancouver or Adjacent or ATL,
the massive
or
backlog
London
of
is Bleeding,
Patreon
or
content. There's so
Martlet
much I
Games.
need to go through yet. I'm sorry, I'm working on it. I've got mountains of fucking video to go through, and it never ends.
All right, we're gonna call this one to a close. So bye, everybody.
Bye.